let you in. I know you could be my remedy, my remedy. How long will you keep trying? I know it's not, babe. It's not easy. I guess deep down inside, I know you could be my remedy. Be my remedy. Yeah, you could be I know you could be my Be my remedy, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
Back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the by my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, I told him it's nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings I throw on my pain on percussion.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. A beautiful Friday. Damn it, we made it. Pat yourself on the back. You made it through another week in this crazy ass world. Black folks in America, we still striving. We doing way better than surviving. We thriving out here. Good morning to you. Broadcasting live from a secret location somewhere in the greater Cincinnati area. We keep it secret because we don't want the man to know what we at, where we at, and what we doing. Good morning to you. I'm Nathan Ivey, your humble host. On today's show, a Hamilton County judge ordered a man, happened to be a black man, to get a COVID-19 vaccine or else. Get that vaccine, get the shot or else. I ain't playing with your ass. I ain't playing with you. And it's one thing for an employer and all over the country on different levels, there's conversations about just how much power that your employer may have over you in terms of forcing you to get vaccinated. People losing their jobs. I got the details over showing up to work not being vaccinated. That's one thing. That's one thing in the employment world. But let's say you got a legal issue before a judge, and the judge tells you as a condition of your probation, you got to get the COVID-19 vaccine? What if it's against your religion? That's persecution. Or is it? You tell me. 513-873-7134. Also, sorta a bad situation continues. Last night you had the big virtual meeting between sorta. Is that Southwestern Ohio Regional Transit Authority? If it is, I deserve a freaking medal because I don't know why I remember that shit. Sorta attempts to soothe CPS parents' fears of catastrophic changes to busing. And I just want to know who's responsible. We talked with Chelsea Clark yesterday, who's a member of the Sorta board. And she was like, look, we was left in the dark. We found out afterward. How do you have a big meeting after the decision's already made? That's so Cincinnati. That's the old way of doing things in Cincinnati. For 4 decades, there was a plan in place. And again, if somebody's got better information, all the fingers are being pointed at one individual, a transportation director for CPS. Is that the truth, or is the man being scapegoated? I don't know. All of it could be true. I'm figuring out just like you are. But I want to say this. Sorta has doubled down and said at this point, there's no way for them to go back to the original plan before school starts. Okay, cool. But that does not mean that you can't get there midway through school. It seems like there's this all or nothing mentality. Like if they can't start at the beginning of the school year, then the whole year is a wash. Where they do that at, homie? If Metro got together right now, right, and started to reconfigure the plan to go back to where it was, you telling me that before the end of the school year they can't go back? You tell me. 513-873-7134. Did the Israel lobby help Chantel Brown defeat Nina Turner? Oh, you weren't expecting that, were you? Oh, I threw that shit in there. Some people are saying so. Why was Israel so interested in a congressional race in Ohio? The Israeli money came in. Is that the evil money that Nina Turner was talking about? Maybe so. I'll give you the details this morning. If you want to chime in, you can do so at 513-873-7134. Let me give you a heads up. No Is It Just Me podcast today. Donnie is working hard for her clients. She got business to take care of, and hopefully she'll be back next Friday. I know it's become a part of your Friday. I love doing it. I love to sit back and just hear other people's flows. And but she'll be back. She'll be back hopefully next Friday, because she is a working woman. We're hard for the money. I lost the melody. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Now, that's my number if you want to share your thoughts and chime into the studio this morning. Look at that judge right there. I don't want to see him. That's one of them 1776 judges. That's pre-script. That's pre-Judge Dred Scott. I don't want to see that, man. Judge orders man to get a COVID-19 vaccine. And this is real. Like, this really happened. A Hamilton County judge. Matter of fact, we know this judge. He actually was on this show. His name is Common Pleas Court Judge Christopher Wagner. Remember when we talked to Christopher Wagner? Yeah. Yep, he was by the book. Apparently, a black man by the name of Brandon Rutherford, younger dude, right? He said that the judge asked him, is he vaccinated? And did he plan to get vaccinated? He told him no, which is your God-given right. You got a God-given right to not be vaccinated. I will 100% support that to all the folks. He said that the judge told him to get a COVID-19 vaccine within 2 months as a condition of his community control, aka his probation. Wait a minute, is that legal? Where my legal eagles at? Where the Doogie Howsers at? Where the smart people, man, with law degrees? You got a JD, tell me, is this legal? A judge can do that. They can make a COVID vaccine a condition of your probation. I mean, damn, your probation's already hard enough. Now you're forcing me to get the vaccine. They can do that? Is this some old kind of social experiment that they using on black folks? I ain't never heard of nothing like this before. When I read this story, shout out to Jesse for posting it in the friends page. Like I said, I go there multiple times a day. That's my number one source for information for the show. A lot of smart, intelligent people in that Facebook group. Hey, what's up, MG? Thank you for the share, hun. Appreciate you. Aw, look at you sharing my shit and everything. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language. I know it's early, but I'm weak. I was weak. So before we get too deep in the show, I got to say my prayers. When I say my prayers, I'm good into the early. So just give me a second. Lord, forgive me for my brash delivery. They know not what they do, Lord. I'm good. I can say anything I want to say now, and I'm still getting into heaven. I'm still getting into heaven. You can't stop this. That's right. When you get to heaven, get on your smartphone, because they do have internet in heaven, or else it wouldn't be heaven. Right? They do have free Wi-Fi. And you can just go to nathanivey.com in heaven and check out the flows every single day. I won't curse as much, but you'll get the same sharp tongue. All right. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing fantastic. The last 24 hours have been absolutely great. Getting back to me. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Hey, listen, please take a second to like and share this show. Share this show, please, if you don't mind, so that people around the world can see and hear about the show. I was out yesterday getting it in. I got it in a little bit later. And I have this, as I keep telling people, I got a great route. I got a couple of great routes that I walk over on at Eden Park. One includes the art steps. This is an art museum, great steps. So I got a nice little circuit I do so that every 12, 13 minutes, I'm hitting those steps. Every 12, 13 minutes. I see people walking down the steps, and I'm like, there's a certain amount of exercise and cardiovascular and muscular conditioning you can get from walking down the steps, but the real love is going up the steps. So I got a nice little, every 13, 14 minutes, I hit the steps. Boom, boom, boom. Had a great time yesterday. They had something going on. It was like the jazz was going on over there. They got an amphitheater over there. And who'd I walk into? Who'd I run into yesterday? None other than Kathy Wade. Kathy Wade? I know you know who Kathy Wade is now. If you don't know who Kathy Wade is, let me get an image of her and I'll put it up on the screen. And we've lost contact because she used to come on the show all the time and keep us culturally aware and civilize us because we some damn heathens. She would come on and bring such a civilizing aura, right? All that hip hop and boobity booty bop. And she would come in with that real music. That's Kathy Wade right there. I told her, she's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing the same thing I always do. Delivering flows. What else, Kathy? what else could I be doing? You know what I'm saying? What else is out here for me? I'm delivering flows for the people. That's what I do. And hopefully we'll catch up with her real soon. And she can bring some culture back to us. Because some of y'all, it's not good. So I'm doing my little walk, getting it in. And I ran to Kathy Wade. It was great to talk to Kathy Wade. It's great to see her. And then I ran into somebody else that I know. Okay, this brother's been on the show a lot. And he always gonna be one of my favorite guests of all times. I mean, I just love his passion about films. I'm talking about T.T. Stearns Enzi. You know, T.T. Stearns Enzi doing big things. And they were doing a screening of a film that was directed and made by a black female, like back in, I think he said the 80s and 90s. I'm not hip to it. And they had like an inflatable screen up there in the parking lot of the Cincinnati Art Museum. That's T.T. Stearns Enzi right there. Yeah. And we sat and chat for a second. Got a chance to catch up with him. So hopefully we'll hear him on the show again real soon. And check out his podcast as well. You can find him on Twitter. Just type in TT as in two T's, Stearns Enzi. You'll check him out. And he paid me a huge compliment. He's like, man, I was in New York somewhere. I don't remember. I can't remember everything he said. He said he was in New York. I guess business, family. I don't remember. I can't remember where he said he was. He said, I was somewhere and somebody was listening to your show, just like ran into somebody, heard my voice. I'm like, damn, man, appreciate it. So whoever's in New York checking out the show, man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Wanted to make sure I said that. But got it in yesterday, family. Good 40, almost 50-minute circuit. Got it in. Got it in yesterday. Feeling pumped up, feeling good, feeling healthy. And then I came home. Did whatever the hell I did last night. Right? Good morning to you. Welcome to my home, by the way. This is my home studio. Those are real books back there. Those are real photographs of me and family members and all my shit back there. So yeah, this is me. Welcome to the house. Casa de Ivy. Maybe you can put it that way. J. Koo writes, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to F with. That's right. That's right. The Choppers ain't nothing to F with either. James writes, I rebuke Judge Chris Wagner in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You know what? Let me see if we can get an image of Chris Wagner real quick. because he was on the show a couple times. I believe he is a Democrat, I believe, if I remember correctly. And why would Chris, wait a minute. What in the hell is up with Chris Wagner? I thought that he ran under three pillars: experience, compassion, and integrity. Okay. How is it compassionate for you to force a man to get a COVID-19 vaccination against his will as a condition of probation? Can somebody tell me that? I think I got Chris Wagner's number in here right now. I think I'll text him. Now, he is a judge, so he probably won't want to talk about it, but you know me, I'll ask the question now. Give me a sec. I will ask the question. We might not get a response, but that ain't going to stop me. So how is that compassion, Mr. Chris Wagner? That's not compassion. And I'm looking right here. I see all these images of Chris Wagner with people that I know. Lots of good people here. I see photographs of him with all kind of folks, all good Democrats. What in the hell? From what I understand, that local media reached out to his office, and didn't get a response. And I think we all are owed a response. So this is what we get from your court, Mr. Chris Wagner. Get the COVID-19 vaccine as a condition of probation, or else. Can you violate somebody's probation over the fact that they didn't get a vaccine? This seems like it's headed toward the courts to me. We shall see. Now, the brother involved, his name is Brandon Rutherford. From what I saw in the local news clip, shout out to WCPO for their snappy reporting on this. He says he refuses to get the vaccine. I ain't getting no vaccine. Make me. Okay, we'll see what happens with that. Does that seem legal to you? Where my legal folks at? Anybody with a JD in here? Who got a JD? Let me know. That seems a little bit strange. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Happy Friday. We made it. Yes, we did. How the hell do we do it? How do we do it? I don't know. Brenda writes, good morning. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars. Ray writes, good risings all. Good to see you. Sean's in the house. Hey, Sean, I went over to that spot, man, because like I told you, I'm very serious about what I'm doing here, and I loved it, man. I wish they had a basketball court over there, but I loved it. It was exactly what you said, and you can expect me to be getting it in over there. They need that at every park in Cincinnati. Every park in Cincinnati should have like a little place where you can get your chin-ups, your pull-ups, and things like that, like those body weight calisthenic exercises. They got a spot over there in Northside, and it's perfectly set up for that. Perfectly set up. So if you ever want to get that, get them calisthenics in, that chin up, them pull-ups, the dips, and all that kind of stuff is right over there. They should have that at every park in Cincinnati. That would be great. That would help in terms of the obesity and health issues that people are dealing with in this city. Because if you put those in every park, there are people in every neighborhood that would actually use it. So I don't know what's different for that. It seems like it's sponsored by AARP, which seems like the kind of thing that AARP would sponsor, but I don't know. But props to you, brother. I'll be spending more time on it. I went over there with Junior a couple days ago. I was like, man, there's a new park. You want to go? He's like, yeah, let's go. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. We going to the park together. So he found some little friends. He was over there getting his swing on, and Daddy was getting it in. Anthony writes, morning, Chop Shops. Good morning to you, Anthony. Good morning.
Get to the chopper!
Sean writes, nice song. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. We should all get up every morning and say that to ourselves. Marta writes, good morning. Cass writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Happy Friday. Good to see you, Cass. Glenn writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hashtag Friday. Bunky writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Grand risings to the defeated shot shaming bisexuals. What's in your jab? See? Brenda writes, happy Friday. Eloise is in the house. She writes, good morning. Fame writes, good morning, folks. Do you need your drink stirred? The alt middle is here to stir it. Okay. Appreciate that. We're glad to know we've got that taken care of. Thank you. Sister Irish writes, good morning, great people. Good to see you. Nikki writes, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I got a chance to watch a little bit of the verses within the last 24 hours. Damn, it was everything people said it was. Damn. Cameron caught an attitude. He was channeling what was the name of that character he played? Wait, we saying what was the name of that character he played, man? What's the movie now? He killed it in that movie. He bodied that role, by the way. You gotta give Cameron his props, man. He bodied that. What was the name of that movie? Paid in Full, 2002. Classic. Classic. You haven't seen Paid in Full, you need to go see this. Based off a true story, too. And Cameron played the hell out of that role. He played was it Alpo? Crazy ass motherfucker killed his boy. How you gonna kill money making Mitch like that, man? He played the hell out of that, but he was channeling Alpo on the stage. You ain't mind you make me. Go ahead then, man. Go ahead. I thought they was gonna get the blows, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Got a chance to watch a little bit of it. So I'm culturally hip now. I know what happened. Good to see everybody. Kelly writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Happy Friday. Yes, it is a happy Friday. Beautiful Friday. Eb G writes, good morning, great people. Good to see you, Eb G. James writes, praise the Lord, everyone. Oh, absolutely. Always to the creator. Jenny writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Jay writes, good morning, happy Friday. Good to see everybody. Kamara's in the house. She writes, good morning. Living her best life out here, all in Bermuda. Putting up pictures, making us jelly. Jenny writes, it was a really nice jazz concert, Nathan. I had not heard of William Menefield until last night. Oh, you were there? Okay. I was just, man, what time was I over there? I was over there about, I don't know. It was almost 8 o'clock. It was almost 8 o'clock. So I got over there maybe like 10 till 8 and was over there for about 45, 50 minutes. I was just walking past it. Tabitha writes, good morning, all. It was great, though. You know, it just broke up the monotony of what I usually see. And it seemed like people having a good time. Music sounded good. Charles Holmes writes, good morning, people. I just found out the CPS has canceled yellow bus service for upper grade schools. Is that right? Gladys is in the house. She writes, good Friday, Choppers. Good to see you. Janine writes, Kathy Wade will be at St. Aloysius on Tuesday. I've driven past there on Reading Road and see them Crown Jewels of Jazz, I think it is. Super dope. Kathy Wade is super talented. Super talented. Daryl writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. James writes, Dems are demonic people that are lovers of this wretched world. Kamara writes, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. Oh, my God. Maurice writes, glorious resurrection. Yes, it is. James writes, Jesus has given me the strength to fight against you loathsome, wicked black women that hate men. Oh, boy. Here we go. Hey, Fame, I think you got some competition in terms of stirring the pot, man. Because James in here stirring the pot early, man. Damn, yo, we just got started, man. We ain't even 20 minutes in. You stirring the pot, man, like big time. Damn. Dale writes, Nate, James Lawson is a white nationalist. Oh, boy, here we go. Got to say white nationalist. Okay, well, listen, man, you welcome to, man. You can bring your white nationalism in here. I'm going to tell you, this is a bit of a briar patch. You know, you're gonna be challenged. Get ready for it, James. But that's probably what you're looking for. You're looking for some smoke. You're in the right place, man. You're gonna get some smoke. As long as we keep everything friendly, it's all good to me. It's all good to me. You know what I'm saying? It's all good to me. It is what it is. Do you? Do you? It's all in love. I get it. I get it. Wu-Tang forever. Good morning. Hey, good team. Good morning, Christine. Ronald Rice paid in full. Yep, that's exactly right. TGIF Choppers. TNT Rice, good morning. TGIF. I love that. Charles Rice, Alpo, paid in full. Right. Paid in full. Yeah, okay. These are my peoples in here. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a great street game, black drug dealing movie about real life. Sad story, too. What's up, Bernice? She writes, good morning. Good to see you. Somebody writes, don't feed the troll. It's like, don't feed the animals when you go to the zoo. Queen Maxine writes, good vibes. I'm listening. Brother OJ Welburn writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. It's TWE. Now we're gonna be catching up with OJ, and I saw brother OJ was on BNC, the Black News Channel, which I just love. And he had a feature on there talking about his upcoming book, but we're gonna clutch up with him here too as well. So props to you, brother. Hope you, whatever your goal is, I hope it happens for you. Joe writes, Grand Risings at the Choppers. Good to see you.
Get to the chopper!
Jerome Anderson writes, TGIF Nate and the Choppers. What is on your radar screen? It is a Friday. Typically on a Friday, we kind of relax it a little bit. We open the conversation. I want you to have input into what we're talking about here. If it's something that's interesting, this is your morning destination for interesting conversation. So if it's interesting, if it's relevant, I'm here for it. Post a link. You can hit me with direct message during the show. And we can incorporate your thoughts into the flow this morning, inject it into the bloodstream this morning. Pat writes, good morning. Good to see you. Tabitha writes, Wonder Twin Power, form me a chopper. I'm not sure what that would look like. Carmelita writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good to see you, Carmelita. Good to see you as well. Danita writes, good morning, everyone. Good to see everybody. Good to see you. So let me circle back around here. Let's get back to this cover story right here. That's not the cover story. Let's get to the cover story right here. A Hamilton County judge ordered a man to get a COVID-19 vaccine. I'll be watching this story to see what happens because I want to know if the judge has that kind of power. You can do that? That seems like some old school shit. Like we do that in 2021? You could do that? I can't wait to see how this happens. And as I understand it, this is a white male Democrat. This is not a Republican judge. This is a Democrat judge. So this makes me wonder, number one, is this something that a judge can force a person to do as a condition of probation? And if you don't, then boom, we're going to hit you with that time. Or is this judicial overreach? I don't know. This seems like the kind of story that you'll see on Fox News. I would not be surprised if you see this story on a national level and you got a Republican pundit saying, see, look at these Democrat judges. I can see that. And anything around the vaccine and forcing people to get the vaccine, that's something that's going to get national attention because there's a lot of divergent points of view about that. Some people, no problem whatsoever. Some people, it's the biggest problem ever. It is what it is. So tell me what you think. Also, you had the big meeting last night. Did you attend virtually? Sort of attempted to soothe CPS parents' fears. After 4 decades, they are making a change with the extra routes. They're claiming that it'll be better for students. Let's wait and see. And maybe they're right. I want to be optimistic, but I think that the way that this was rolled out to the public was dead wrong. 3 weeks. If you're going to make any kind of change, the people need to be notified way before that. But see, that's the mentality of some people in charge. That's not just a sort of CPS issue. That's an issue, period. Where, people at the top make these decisions and they fail to effectively communicate to their audience, to their employees. I mean, communication is absolutely key. Like if we were having this conversation, let's say 2 months ago, then people would at least have a little bit more time to try to deal with it, or they have time to maybe reverse it. But what I want to know is, since there seems to be a groundswell of emotion against this, now keep this in mind. You got parents that are against this. You got at least one member of the Hamilton County Commissioners, Alicia Reese, who's against this idea. All of the CPS board members are resisting this. They're all saying no to it. Okay, well, that tells me then maybe Sorta and Metro come up with a way that during the school year, they can go back to the originally scheduled plan. Why does it have to be, hey, we have to do this for the entire year? But we shall see. A lot of question marks about that. A whole lot of question marks. Again, the CPS board unanimously voted to oppose Metro's elimination of the extra routes, but is that just purely symbolic? Or, I mean, it's got some weight to it because it's going to hit the public and it may have an impact on how the public views it. But in terms of having any real purview, does that have any real weight with Metro? Doesn't appear so. Again, in the article that I'm reading right now, it ends the same way that it began, with Metro saying that for this year, quote, it's not a viable option just because the amount of time it would take to recreate the network to provide the extra service to the students is not something that can be done overnight. So I'm hearing mixed messaging here, and I want to unravel this. Okay, here's a direct quote from somebody representing sorta in Metro. Okay, quote, for this year is not a viable option. Why isn't it a viable option for this year? We understand that you don't have enough time to 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 reconfigure before the start of the school year. But how much time would it take? I mean, if it would take, let's say, 4 months. Okay, well, if you get started today, within 4 months, that's within the school year, you can get it done. Why is this being tolerated? Why is this double talk being tolerated? It's not a viable option for this year. Flash forward, it's not something that can be done overnight. I hate when people do that. We can't do this overnight. Who thinks that you can do this overnight? Now, let's be real here. Anything can be done if there's a will to do it. We know that. But I think most people are reasonable. I think most parents are reasonable. I think most parents who even have an issue with this are reasonable enough to say, okay, I get it. You can't do this overnight. I get it. But how long would it take for you to do this is the question. Like, if the community is saying that we want extra routes, then I believe it's incumbent upon sorta in Metro to come up with a plan to give us extra routes. And what's that timeline? What's your ETA on that? Now, we know it's not overnight, so let's take that off the table. We ain't got to discuss whether it can happen overnight or not. But what are we talking about? 3 months, 4 months? 3 months or 4 months? Well, let's look at our trusty calendar. If it takes them 4 months, this is August, September, October, November, December. So let's say that by January 2022, that'll be 5 months. You telling me Metro can't come up with a way to reconfigure it in 5 months? Of course they can. I don't want to hear anything other than that. Tell me why they can't. Tell me why it would take more than 5 months to reconfigure the Metro routes. The kids would break, as they always do for Christmas and holiday break. It's usually 2.5, 3 weeks. And when they come back, the extra routes can be there. Why is this so hard? Is that impossible? Now, I know I'm talking for other people's jobs, and I know there's a lot of stuff that I just don't understand, and I fully accept that. I fully accept it, 100%. But you telling me they can't reconfigure this plan in 5 months and then use the winter break to get everything back in line, right? Kids aren't taking the buses during winter break anyway. You got 2.5, 3 weeks. You come back in January 2022, bam, you got the extra routes. Why do we have to wait the whole year? I'd like to know. I'd like to know. I'd like to know. What do you think? Is my logic off? Am I not making sense? Do you not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That makes perfect sense. So stop with we can't do this overnight. We already know that, man. But how long will it take you, sorta, to do this? That's what I don't see. I don't know. I don't see it. Yeah, CPS sent a letter to sorta saying that they want the extra routes that have been provided for CPS students for decades. How do you have a policy in place for decades, make a change in the dark, and then communicate to the public 2 weeks before the start of the plan? And you've had this plan in place for decades, literally decades. I don't know who's responsible, but whoever it is, they should be fired immediately. There's just no way that we, the public, can have confidence in these individuals. But as we know with CPS, they'll hold on to a bag of longer than, I'm not sure where I'll compare this to. They love to hold on to big bags of ish. They love it. It's like, did a bad job over there at Carson, indirectly led to a young kid committing suicide because he was bullied with no help. You can keep your job. We'll just put you somewhere else. We'll put you somewhere else. Got to have a job, right? Got to find a place for you. Uh-huh. Where the hell they do that at? So again, I don't know if this transportation director is really responsible, but I will say this: if in fact it's true, the man needs to be fired. Period. Why does CPS hold on to bad actors so long? I don't get it. I just don't get it. This is not a little bitty thing. This is a huge issue. Who out there can do that? Can you do that on your job? Can you just be doing stuff on your own, talking about, well, hey, I didn't get to where I am by not taking risks? Make decisions that impact thousands of people out here in a negative way, cause this big old controversy, and keep your job. You can do that? Damn. Must be nice. Damn. Is that union protection? I mean, if it is, it is, but damn. Kamika writes, there's a judge in Franklin County that ordered COVID vaccine as a condition of probation back in June. Is that right, Kamika? Right. I didn't know that. Damn, these judges had an order, man. I'm glad that brother's putting up a resistance. I'll say it that way. Brother Rutherford, I'm glad he's putting up a resistance because somebody's got to. Somebody's got to. Absolutely. But again, think about that. It seems as if Sorta and Metro are taking this all or nothing approach. They're like, hey, we can't do this by the beginning of the school year, so I guess it's a wrap for the whole school year. No, we don't have to be that way. You have to be that way. Metro can start the plans as to what it would take to reconfigure right now. And you telling me it's going to take them 5 months to really come up with that plan? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. That 5 months? You reconfigure the plan. You take the Christmas holiday time, which is 2.5 to 3 weeks. Everybody comes back in January, and they're like, we got the extra routes back. Why doesn't that timeline make sense? Danita writes, ordering someone to get a vaccine seems unconstitutional. It does. Sarah writes, judicial overreach. Yeah. We don't expect this from Democrat judges. We expect this from Republican judges. Tracy writes, hi. It's like ordering someone to get a tubal ligation or a vasectomy. Can't do that. Kaz writes to James Lawson, Kamar Douglas, it's just an act. He's trying to make a name for himself in here like the alt middle, and apparently disrespect the women is the quickest way to do it. Oh, is that what he's doing? Huh. Got called out real quick. Damn. The sisters don't play, man. Carmelita writes, they said it's already too late. I can accept that. With 2 weeks left, I can accept that. I can accept it. I can accept that as logical. But what I can't accept is the idea that they can't reconfigure this plan within the school year, use the existing schedule, like I just said. This is just me coming up. I'm a talk show host, man. There's people that get paid a whole lot of money. They've been doing this their whole lives to configure and come up with these ideas. Spend 5 months, take the Christmas break to reinstitute, come back in January 2022. Boom, we got extra service for the rest of the school year. Right? But, it's like CPS students are a petri dish. So we can just do whatever we want to do with them, right? James writes, harlots and simps. Get the fuck out of here. He said harlots and simps, huh? Oh my God. You just want to argue this morning, man. I mean, I think you might find what you're looking for. I'm not going to go back and forth with you, man, because you're on some dumb shit, but okay. It is what it is. James writes, I come in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. You children of Satan will be judged. Okay, well, can we wait to judgment day and let God do all that? Now, James, I got to challenge you. If you really believe in God and Satan and judgment day, then let God, G-O-D, judge us. You ain't got to do all that. You should be comfortable in your Christianity in knowing that if you really believe in God, that God can handle that. He can handle these little sins. Trust him. Let God do that. Lisa writes, I doubt it took them 5 months to dismantle it so they can put it back together in that same time. Thank you, Lisa. Exactly. If it took them 5 months of conversation and reconfiguring and planning, then it should take you 5 months of meeting and reconfiguring and planning to go back. That aligns perfectly with the winter break, right? Boom, come back to school, you'll see smiles. You'll see smiles. Or here's the other thing. Everybody's belly aching. They might make this change and people are like, you know what? This works better. We like this better. But we are creatures of habit. We don't like change, especially when it comes to our children. I'm the same way. I get it. Speaking of children, I got daddy duty today. And I got to make sure I get my children to a destination today. So what does that mean? It means that I'm going to end the show at about 9:30 a.m., which is what we've been doing anyway. So I can fulfill my parental responsibility to my little people. Okay. My little people are very excited about the prospects of doing something today. And I got to make sure they do it because the wifey got ish to do. Janice writes, oh my, you've never worked in student transportation. There are so many variables. Janice, my hands are up because I plead guilty. You are right. Guilty as charged. I have never worked in student transportation. You're right. I've ordered a whole lot of buses. I put thousands and thousands of dollars into First Student. So I've dealt with the buses on all bus drivers from that side of it. But you're right. I have no idea what it takes. I completely understand that there are many variables. Janice, that makes perfect sense to me. That makes perfect sense to me, everything you're saying. However, Janice, are you telling me that they can't reconfigure the plan in the next 5 months between now and December? And then in December, roll out a brand new plan saying, hey, guys, listen, we listened to the public and this is what we're going to do, okay? Because they was listening to the public and running around trying to kiss our ass when they wanted us to pay for that levy, support that levy. It was all about opportunity and you getting more. You getting service and you getting service and you getting service and you getting service. And you in the back, you're going to get service too. No, not you, him. Yeah, you're getting service too, right? Everybody getting service. Now you're talking about what you can't do. We don't want to hear what you can't do. Because you weren't talking about what you can't do when you won that levy from the people. It was all about endless possibilities and Hamilton County is going to be open to everybody and we can get people from A to B faster than ever before and it's going to be transportation for everybody. You get a route and 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 you get a route. Everybody's getting a route. Okay, so the voters did what they had to do. Now you're talking about what you can't do. I don't want to hear that. What you can't do? You didn't say what you couldn't do when you was trying to get that levy money, was they? I didn't see that. What I saw was endless possibilities. It's going to be great for Hamilton County. Smiles. Access to jobs. Right? Everybody's going to be happy where everybody's not happy. Sean writes, just ignore this fool. He's not even worth responding to. The choppers are above this lane. You know, it comes with territory. All are welcome here. I don't care if you're black, white, Democrat, Republican. My flow is for who is for. You know, I'm flowing for my peoples. You already know that. But I think a good show, a good chat room always has a little bit of element of different opinions. Brothers always, if you're trying to come in here insulting people, it's not going to go well. Now, if you're challenging people on the crux of their argument, on the issues, you'll get some intelligent discourse. You'll get that in the chop shop. But if you come in here on some, trying to be the chat room bully from 10 years ago, we are not new to this. We've seen it all, heard it all, done it all. So like Sean said, we really are above all of that. Now, if it's on the issue though, like if we have some intelligent debates about the issue, you get all you can handle in here. You get it all. But if you come in here on some lame ass, on some sucker-ish, it's just not going to be received well. I'm just heads up. It's just not going to be received well. I already know this, so don't say I didn't tell you. Let's see, look what Danita writes. She writes, replying to James Lawson, rational plus irrational equals no communication. Let him comment to himself. Remember when we were kids and gave the silent treatment? So I'm just telling you, that's how the people in this room are going to respond to that. And it's just not going to go well. Now, if you challenging people like with some logics and you got links and facts, oh man, you're in the right spot. You're in the right spot for that. Like if you want to have an intelligent conversation, even a debate about the issues, oh, we here for that. But calling names and all that kind of shit, all that's gonna do is get you banned. That's all it's gonna do. And it's just you're not gonna get what you think you're gonna get out of it. You know what I'm saying? All that troll pleasure. I don't think it's gonna happen that way, but I've said enough on. I'm gonna move on. Audra writes, that should remain a personal choice. There are females out here with several children who never live with either parent. They end up in foster care or with others and no one mandatory birth control. Everyone has different values, morals, and beliefs. And this is a huge infringement on my whole person. Kamar writes, transportation for children should never be this complicated. I agree. Absolutely all day. You see, Derek in the house. Good morning to you, brother. He writes, good morning, family. Make today the best. I saw the news. Derek is now the president of the Charter Right Committee here in Cincinnati. So, Derek, you already know now. So now, now you part of all of this. But it'll be interesting. Like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see what the will of the voters are going to be. It's going to be very interesting to see how the voters interpret the Democrat, Republican, and charter right slate. It's going to be very interesting. Can't wait to see. Deshauna writes, good morning, Nathan. Happy Friday. I'm off today. Yeah. You asked me yesterday how many miles I walk a day on average, 17. But when I get an extra route, a total of 23 miles. Damn, 17 miles a day? That's hella good. Damn. You getting it in. Now, does it feel like a workout when you finish work? I'm just curious about my mail carriers out here because I see them working hard out here. Rain, shine, snow. Like when you finish, do you feel? I'd like to know, like, I wish you could compare mail carriers and their overall health to other people in other professions, right? Because you're getting it in. Good morning to you. Kamara is giving Derek mass props for making history. And when we say making history, Derek is the first African-American, the first Black person to lead as the president of the Charter Right Committee here. So, yeah, here, brother. I'm sure you're going to do big things. And the people need choices. People need choices. People need as many good people as an option for council and anything else here locally as they can possibly have. Maurice writes, when Trump was in office and signed the Emergency Act, I think that's what it is. That did away with U.S. Constitution and gave FEMA power. Damn, no Constitution? What in the fuck? No Constitution? Kamar writes, preach. Nat writes, choppers formed like Voltron. You already know. FG writes, you get a route. That's right. You get a route. Everybody was getting a route. And then we get to the school board. We get to the beginning of CPS, and the babies really need a route. They don't get an extra route. It just don't make a lot of sense. So, again, don't let Metro and Sorta tell us that they can't reconfigure and reinstall the system, maybe with some changes. Maybe they edit some bit within the school year. There's no way they can't do that. I don't believe it. If they can't do that, then something's wrong. Something is wrong. So the same people that got paid to change the configuration and do away with the extra buses in the dark and not tell anybody, pay them same people to come up with a plan to reconfigure it so that in January of 2022, when the kids come back, they got a whole half of the school year left. And they can go back again, if that's what people want, they can go back to the plan as it was. But Marisha writes, good morning, good to see you. Janice writes, I'm not making excuses. They definitely should have consulted with parents in the community, talk to someone who works in student transportation. Okay. Angela writes, congratulations, you played yourself with her DJ Khaled voice. Is that right? Jared writes, the timing is what sets me off. Unacceptable. And there needs to be a public in-person meeting involving SORTA and CPS admin. If they had a public meeting, how many people really going to it? With the Delta variant out there, like, moonwalking through the streets, like Thriller. Sarah writes, you will get dragged expeditiously. In the chop shop, yeah, it's just not going to go well. And like I'm not surprised to hear how people were responding to it. It's just we did all of that. We way past like the troll in the chat room. We way past that. TNT writes, Black Jesus removed the racist devil out of Cyber Wakanda and send the Neanderthal back to the cave. Revealed to him that the black man is king and the black woman is the creator of all your children. Amen. Amen on that one. Remove the racist devil. She said, colonizer, go. I rebuke you, colonizer. See, that's what we got to be still doing to these Karens and Darrens. When you get a Karen and Darren that's acting all crazy and wild in public, you got to say, hey, colonizer, 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 colonizer. And you really get their attention, like wake their ass up. That'd be hilarious. I got a warped sense of humor, man. Oh, man. Colonizer. Chill. We see you. That was one of the best parts of Black Panther. She was like, who you talking to, colonizer? I'm like, damn, Marvel. Y'all doing this now? Okay, well, I can get with this. Danita writes, facts. I'm here for the debate. We can debate the color of grass, and I will find credible source to back up my opinion. She will. I don't want to debate with Danita no more. I'm done. All right? I'm just going to go with the flow. Terry writes comedy, right? If you come in here on some troll shit, you'll be the court gesture for the morning. That's how people will treat you. And I don't think that's a good look. But again, if you want to like come in here on some like, listen, I really want to know what people think about this. I want to challenge people and push people. Like, cool, we here for all of that. That's why people come together. People like talk radio. That's people that love talk radio love to hear that kind of shit. We love it. Janice writes, the Student Transportation Department employees are some of the hardest workers in CPS. Of course, they don't make those decisions. I don't doubt it. I know a lot of people in CPS. I work with CPS firsthand. I'll say this again. A lot of salt of the earth people. Some of the best people you're ever going to meet are out here working for our kids. Unfortunately, some of the worst people you're ever going to meet are like, interspersed in that group as well. And they make it bad for everybody else. But great people. A lot of really hard, and that's a lot of hard work. Like I said, beyond my capabilities. I mean, there are people out here that are doing things that I just could never do. And I give them nothing but props, man. I support our teachers 1,000%. I support our administrators 1,000%. I support CPS as long as they're doing the right thing. That's it. Derek writes, thank you, my brother. Oh, absolutely. And we got to catch up, man. You already know. I want to hear everything. I want to hear why should we be voting for the charter rights. I want to hear the virtues of the charter right party. And, just use the platform to give people as much education and information and entertainment, as much as we can get it in there as possible about what's happening. If not, why do it? Deshauna writes, you get used to it after a while. I lost 47 pounds and feel good. 46 pounds and feel good. I would imagine. Man, Deshauna, if you doing 17 miles a day, all you would have to do after doing that much every single day is to tinker with your diet, and you ain't got to do nothing else, and the pounds are going to fly off your body. Fly. You won't be able to keep them on. They're going to fly. Your body going to get ready for what it's got to do every single day. That's no rate training whatsoever. I bet you cardiovascular is on point with the mail carriers. 17 a day? Damn. I respect it, man. Mail carriers should get tips, especially when they're delivering checks. Psh, and unlike going to the mailbox, and you got a check in there. Like the whole mailbox is like glowing. You know what I'm saying? Ah, man, nothing like checks in the mail. Anthony writes, some of them catching hell. Used to get my mail between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. Getting it now between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. They are short on mail carriers. That's because people don't want to work for other folks. You know, a dream job for a lot of people is a job that they create for themselves. That's the new dream job. The new dream job is I'm going to go out here and make something for myself. That's the new dream job. Hold on one second, I'm getting. Oh, okay. Anybody else hip to KNG? They send this to me every Friday about the clearance sales. It always throws me off. Anyway, what was I saying here? Catching up to my flows. I got distracted there for a second. Maybe it'll come back to me. My brain works that way sometime. Brandy Rice, good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Good morning to you. Heaven's Angel is giving Derek props. Congrats again. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's a great thing. I saw it this morning on Facebook. I was like, okay, see you out here making it time to make a difference. All right, Danita Rice West, high graduate medal in featherweight boxing. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Absolutely. Most different. And what's the brother's name again? It's escaping me. Good morning to you. Absolutely. He got the silver. Yes, he did get the silver. I mean, a silver medal, man, that's dope. That's super dope. Bunky writes, Danita Biden didn't deliver for his black ass kissers. You got played. Debate that. The Asians and Latinos and gays said gracias. Y'all, I mean, oh yeah, for sure. I got you. Duke Regan. Right. That's his brother's name. So today with the Freedom Friday Policing the Pandemic, they're going to be speaking with Gabe Davis, and his team discussing August cases. That's such a great resource. What Sister Iris and her team are doing virtually. It's a real resource. And really in keeping what she do, keeping us up to date on what's happening in terms of policing in this greater Cincinnati area and beyond. So that's today, I believe at 4 p.m. Yep, at 4 p.m. today. So check that out on Facebook Live. And it's always, that's some good community media right there. Appreciate it. Angela writes, ain't no meeting in person because they're scared. They've scared everyone. Okay. Kev on a cell. Right. Colonizer. Marvel is the GOAT. Right. It's like, okay, whatever, colonizer. Huh? See, that's what you do. You get a Karen or Darren is acting up. It's like, okay, I see you, colonizer. Colonizer? Yeah, you. TNT writes, choppers support choppers, period. Absolutely. Janice writes, it is leadership that must be changed. I think my attitude about most things has been the same. From my observation, in terms of in organizations as profit and nonprofits, the culture is started by the people at the top and trickles down. That's the only trickle-down economy that I believe in. When it comes to this, if you want to give people money, you put money in their pocket, put it in their bank account. Don't give it to their bosses. Don't give it to the business class. Give it to the people. But in terms of like the culture inside of an organization, that's determined by the people at the top. Every day, all day. Sarah writes, got to meet this brother, Derek. Derek's a good brother, man. We go way back to UC. He's very familiar with the wifey and is doing his thing in real estate as well. So Queen Maxine writes, every colonizer didn't come from the black woman. There's a demon seed infiltrating as the colonizers. Sarah writes, I used to be a letter carrier. That's such a big job, man. So letter carrying and mail delivery is such a lifeblood in our community, man. Nate, I'm going to find these executive orders in that emergency act that Trump signed and have them y'all's will by Monday. Okay, I'll check it out. People leave money. You talking about leaving jobs? Listen, all across the city, all across the county, all across the country, people are leaving jobs and or not returning to jobs. It is across, they're calling it the Great Resignation is what they've called it. Over 4 million people have either left jobs or did not return to jobs during the pandemic. And the reason is simple. It's because they're smart. They're smart. What do I mean by that? Well, in my opinion, this is my humble opinion. In my humble opinion, what's fueling the great resignation is that people have a new dream job. Like, I don't think people are sitting around dreaming about working for somebody else anymore. People don't dream that anymore. The new dream job is entrepreneurship. That's what people want to do these days. People want to start their own shit and be their own boss. And because of the internet and all the different platforms and things you can do these days on the internet, they can do it. Yo, check it. You can do anything these days. There is nothing stopping you. There is nothing you can't do these days. Nothing. There are so many YouTube channels that'll teach you how to do almost anything you can imagine because people are doing it. And then there's a creative in all of us. Every last one of us is a creative person. Every last one of us has the ability to create. And people have great ideas. And so now what they're seeing is, hell, I can just put my own ideal in place and work for myself. That's the new word, the new dream job. People are not dreaming about slaving for some boss for damn near minimum wage. Nobody wants to do that. People got that hustle spirit now. They want to hustle. They want to get out here and make things happen for themselves. People who have jobs working for other people are dreaming about leaving those jobs and working for themselves. So that's why people are not returning to these jobs, because they don't want to deal with an ignorant ass supervisor. They don't want to deal, I'll say it again, with an ignorant ass supervisor. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want to work for slave wages. They don't want to work for no benefits. I can be better. Yeah, you have to stop asking me. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with that. It's like, if I'm going to deal with all of that, I might as well just work from home and start me a store online or something like that. People are doing it every single day. That's why they're not returning to jobs. If you want these jobs, if you want people to come back to your job, you're going to have to put some respect on it. Like more money, more benefits. I can work from home, create a family atmosphere so people really want to be a part of it. Because people will do that. But people don't want to go to some job where they treat it like they don't really matter and they don't really make a lot of money and they got to work all these hours and they can't be at home and people are fearful of COVID. So it's a lot of that stuff, man. But I think that's the crux of it. A couple things. Number one, they don't want to work in bad situations for slave wages. And number two, their dream job is working for themselves. Raise your hand if your dream job is working for yourself. I know mine is. I don't dream about working for somebody else at all. Why would I do that? Where's the fun in that? Ain't no damn fun in that. Akeem, Prince of Zamunda writes, Kingdom of Zamunda, any vaccines for 12-year-olds and younger? When school start, Nate? Couple of weeks with school. And it seems as if it's on the horizon that the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, is going to approve a vaccine for 12-year-olds and under. Tracy writes, my mail has come as late as 7 to 8 p.m. Listen, this is not an opportunity for you to bellyache about how late your mail come, Tracy. We are respecting mail carriers today. Damn it. I have two beautiful black female mail carriers. I always give them a monetary Xmas gift. I think that's pretty nice. That's old school. Sean writes, Cincinnati needs to become a health-oriented city. All of our parks should have monkey bars and calisthenic equipment. Sean and I were talking about that. And I mean, what would it take to make something like that happen? I agree, man. We both agree. They got a nice little setup over there on North Side. It's on Hamilton Avenue. And it's at I don't know if that's I'm not sure what exactly that street is, but it's not too far once you go over the bridge. Not too far at all. And you go over there and they got pull-up bars. I've been told in New York, in every park in New York, they got the pull-up bars and the dip bars. I mean, just imagine you had that in every park in every neighborhood in Cincinnati. Yeah, because not everybody wants to spend $45 a month or every 3 months to get a CRC membership. You know what I'm saying? And during COVID, when you want less people to be inside, how dope would it be if in every park in Cincinnati, you had the pull-up bars, the dip bars, the calisthenic stations? People would just go over there and just use body weight. People would use it. It would lead to a more fit Cincinnati, a healthier Cincinnati, in my opinion. But I'm sure it costs a lot of money. But I mean, we got a lot of money in Cincinnati. There's a lot of money in Cincinnati. David writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you, David.
Go! Get to the chopper!
Nat writes, Bunky is wild. Bunky is wild. He is wild. Bunky is, man, he's one of my biggest supporters. I appreciate Bunky 1,000%. One of the OGs, so he can say whatever he want to say. But he is wild. Erica writes, really? Wow. Hey, good to see you, Erica. Good to see you. Akeem writes, the best thing about the Olympics is the dark and lovely. Dark and lovely, like Athing Mew. Dark and lovely. Who is Athing Mew? Man of me that's driving me to look this up. Athing Mew. Who is that? Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I see. I see. She is dark and lovely. I see. I see. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. I am a man. I'm a heterosexual man. Don't ever forget that. Akeem writes, the best thing about I think I read that already, but it's worthy of reading it twice, but I won't. What you need? There isn't anything that a Biden campaign on that he hasn't done in the works. No need to debate because facts don't change. Uh-oh. It's getting started now. Getting started. Rodney writes, people are tired of working for some company that will fire them in a heartbeat. You know, black businesses went up 25% since the pandemic. Oh, yeah. Hey, good morning to you, Rodney Douglas. Absolutely correct, brother. You're right about that. I mean, there has been more black businesses created during the pandemic than in the last, I forget what it was, the last decade or so, I think. And some of that were black-owned businesses that closed and then reopened. But the majority of that is just the creativity of black people. Like, you know what? I'm gonna start my own shit. And that's why. There's no loyalty in the game anymore. There's no loyalty. You can work on some of these jobs, man, and give your blood, sweat, and tears, and they'll fire you in a second. Ohio is an at-will state, meaning that you can be fired at will. And I say this all the time, but literally your employer could walk in today and say, yabba dabba doo, it's you. And then you got to go. And so who wants to toil on a job for years and years and years, giving your all for a company that don't care about you? And people already know that. And that's the reason why they decided not to return to some of these jobs where they always felt like they were not being properly respected and not given the love that they really deserved, quite honestly. Listen, before we go any further, though, we got to stop and take in a word from our sponsor on how to attract more money. Brought to you by my good friends at renewcommunitychurch.org. Check this out. We'll be back on the flip.
The words for today are attract more money. It takes 60 seconds for the universe through the invisible law of attraction to be fully activated in your life. God's invisible law of attraction is available to you because you are just 60 seconds away from attracting more money. Take the next 60 seconds and attract more money in your life by telling a financial story for 60 seconds, 3 times a day for 21 days. Why 21 days? Because that's how long it takes to change your life. Now say this financial story out loud 3 times a day. Today, I accept my divine and human right to have more than enough money, to be a financial blessing to self, family, and others. I will use my financial abundance today to bless so many people in this universe. Money is my friend. I share my money with my friends. For a free ebook, visit renewcommunitychurch.org.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I did it again. Thank you, Brian Taylor. I appreciate you, brother. I did it again. I did it again. It's becoming a part of the show now. I think when I do that, maybe the audience should get something. But so as I was saying, it's never been easier to start an online store. It's never been easier to come up with an idea and to monetize it and create a platform to monetize it and then put it out there. It's never been easier. And people know that. You got a lot of smart, creative people, man. A lot of people with a lot of ingenuity. And they're like, you know what? I've always had an idea for this or that or whatever it might be. I'm just going to do it. And it doesn't really take a whole lot of time and money to get it started. And so what would you do? What would you do? Would you spend your time slaving for somebody that don't really care about you at the end of the day? They're making way more money than you are. You ain't got no assurances that you're going to have a job other than the fact that you are living off the whim of your supervisor. Whenever their attitude change, then your job might change. Or would you rather say, you know what, I'm going to go for mine. I'm gonna try to make this happen. So that's what's going on here. That's what's happening. Hold on one second, people. Please like and share today's show. When you share the show, it means everything. Getting the call in. We'll go straight to your call first. Make sure you're all hooked up correctly. I believe we are. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. This is Donita. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Danita. I'm doing well. Welcome to the show.
And I got time today, so somebody want to question me about my credibility and my resources. So let's look at what Biden promised. First, we're going to acknowledge that Biden never said he was going to wipe out student loan debt. So Bunky quit putting that in the chat because he never said it. That was Elizabeth Warren that said that and said she had a plan. Biden never agreed to that. And Biden will never agree to wiping out student loan debt. So we can forget about that. Second, all of these executive orders that Trump signed. Trump's executive orders were deregulation. None of them helped the common man. And Biden left the inauguration, went to the Oval Office, and reversed everything that Trump did. That's the problem with executive orders. They can be reversed with the next administration, which is why we don't want the Voting Rights Act and we don't want Police Reform Act to be an executive order because the next administration can revoke them. We want them to be laws. Bunky, you don't want to do this because I do this all the time. Let's look at what Trump said he did, what he tried to run on for the 2020 election. He touted that he gave the most money to HBCUs. You know, Donnie don't always tell the truth. Yes, he did. He gave more money to HBCUs than President Obama. He gave millions to HBCUs and then turn around and cut Pell Grants by billions, Bunky. You can't give millions and then cut Pell Grants by billions. There's a difference between millions and billions. A lot of people of color use Pell Grants to go to school. A lot of HBCUs use that as additional funding as well. So when you cut them by billions, but you gave them millions in your little executive order, you didn't do anything for them. Trump giveth and Trump taketh away. We all know that's true. Second, the First Step Act, the Prison Reform Act. He signed that executive order. But if you go back and look, President Obama released more people out of prison than Trump did, and Trump signed an executive order. Trump had the Senate behind him, and Obama never did. So why is it that Obama was able to get more people out than Trump, and Trump had an executive order that was signed? Somebody explain that to me, because that just doesn't make sense. And again, Trump giveth and Trump taketh away. Those same people that Trump had released, his Department of Justice, Barr, was working just behind him to put them people back. So, Bunky, go back and do some research and you'll see exactly what I found. Again, Trump giveth, but Trump taketh away. Trump also said, hey, I did empowerment zones. I help Black people get good housing. Let's really look at who did empowerment zones help, because it sure wasn't the poor people. Empowerment zones help corporations and they help developers. Developers came in, got what's called tax abatements, meaning now they don't even have to pay taxes. They made expensive housing that the people who had to leave couldn't even afford to come back. Who did empowerment zones help? Because it sure wasn't our people. They helped the developers. Bunky, come back to me when you got something better. Everybody have a great weekend. This is Donita, the Truth Overseer, dropping knowledge and truth to anyone willing to catch it. Have a great weekend, everybody.
We will. Go ahead and rack her. Yeah. Sis don't play, huh? Mm. So she gonna use her powers for good. it's deeper. It's deeper than just drop. She in here dropping knowledge and the truth for whoever. I'm here for it. And she got links. She got whole links in here too. Okay. I like this. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your West Side connection, your only black not Democrat who got the courage and the balls to call in to your show. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Is your show, because I just tuned in about 5-10 minutes ago, is your show about the former president, Donald Trump?
No, not really. But Danita was
What's it?
responding
That last
to
caller,
Bunky
I don't. Who is she? I don't understand why you never check her. But let's not talk about Donald Trump, Donita. Let's talk about the 46th president, Joseph R. Biden. How about let's talk about that, Donetta? Let's talk about the immigration problem that's going on in Texas, Donetta. I want you to fact check that, Donetta, and fact check how many people have been allowed to enter this country under President Biden's watch, Donetta. How about fact checking this, Donetta? When Joe Biden was told by the Supreme Court that the eviction moratorium was unconstitutional, but one justice, Brett Kavanaugh, decided to go with the minority, make it 5-4, to not totally eliminate it because he said it was going to expire and Congress needed to get on their job and get something done instead of camping out at the Capitol steps. Fact check that, Donetta. Fact check the fact that the President of the United States knew that the eviction moratorium was unconstitutional, but he tried this little sidestep and tried to put it under the purview of the CDC by saying, oh, no, this eviction moratorium is not the same as the other one. This only concerns renters in hot spots, which is 90% of the country. Now, again, I have nothing against people getting money from the government to help them stay in their homes. I have nothing against that. But the President of the United States was told by the Supreme Court that Congress needed to pass the law. And what did he do? He went ahead and put out this thing and put it under CDC like it's not going to be challenged in court. So, Cori Bush, you can get your blanket, get your Fritos, get your Ruffles, and get back out on the Capitol step because this moratorium will not stand in court. And speaking of Cori Bush, Mr. Ivey, if you check your Twitter private message, I posted something in there this morning to prove my point from yesterday that the Democrats are for defund the police. You hear that, Donita? Just because a president says that he's not for something, but one of his senators who endorses him says that she is for the relief of student loans, that's the Democrat Party, Donetta. We know the president is not a king, Donetta.
I don't know why you gotta disrespect that woman like that. You know her name is Denise.
I don't care. Who the hell is Donetta for you to just let her come on your show and never check anything she says?
I check when I
come on,
to.
Mr. Ivey.
You
just sit there quiet and don't let her. You sit there quiet and just let her spew and never interrupt her when she sends out information that's out of context. I mean, who is she to come in to your show and check everybody who's not a Democrat? She don't never check Glenn from Mason. Check his punk ass sometimes. Because all he do is all he does is try to check someone's opinion. Okay, so Mr. Ivey,
I'm looking at this message you sent me on Twitter. Is it the Cori Bush hypocrisy? There's an image of her.
Oh, Mr. Ivey. Mr. Ivey, Mr. Ivey, I don't know if you heard that woman yesterday, but the woman is a narcissist. Okay, she talking about, Mr. Ivey, you got to play it because I don't want Donetta to be calling in next week with her notebook full of fact checking of Black Not Democrats or anybody who opposes the Democrat Party. Okay, because Mr. Ivey, you got to play that, because I think it's something wrong with this woman. Is deranged. She came from the Ferguson, Missouri protest in the death of Michael Brown. And another fun fact, Donetta, is that Cori Bush was in front of the McCluskey's house that day when her group in the Black Lives Matter protest and the other guilty white people, when they broke down the gate of a private community, she was right there in the front line, Mr. Ivey, with her bullhorn. Yep, that's right. The same so Cori Bush
let me
who parlayed that all the way to the United States.
I'm going to play this clip. It's only 29 seconds, so I'm going to play it. But before I set this up,
okay,
what is it that, let the people know what we're going to see in this clip that you sent me?
No, ask Donetta. I'm out.
Oh, okay. All right, let's play this clip. This is Cori Bush. Here's what it reads. Rep. Cori Bush aims to transform policing. Okay, so y'all want to play this? All right, well, I'll play along a little bit. Let's play a little bit along. See if he's got anything here. Let's rotate.
The thing, I won't let them get that off. You can't get that off. I'm going to make sure I have security, because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend $10 more on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police and put that money into social safety nets. The thing.
Okay, so we played it. So she said that's Cori Bush, and she is pro defund the police. So I stand corrected. You found a Democrat who said that she is for defund the police. Okay, are you happy now? Okay, and her name is Danita. We don't have to disrespect each other, even though we disagree. Pam Ram writes, Nathan doesn't have to check Danita because she gives facts. Right? I mean, people get slapped for less. Damn, Tracy, who we slapping now? Dante writes, I tuned in this morning and y'all still talking about Trump. This obsession with Trump is getting unhealthy now. Please stop. I just came up. People just getting checked this morning, huh? That's what we doing? You getting checked and you getting checked. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Brother Nate. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Who am I speaking with?
It's Senator Lackey giving you a call.
Hey, what's up, Senator Lackey? Good morning.
Man, sitting back, and Donita did an amazing job laying out Donald Trump's record and his quote-unquote resume, if you will. And I can see why why he would feel offended and attacked if you're not checking her, because the only thing that you could have checked her on is she didn't go far enough. He brought up the fact that immigration is still a problem, but Donald Trump promised us a wall that Mexico was supposed to pay for. So if immigration is still a problem after he was in office for 4 years, that's another failure on Donald Trump's part. He said he was going to lock up Hillary Clinton for those Hillary Clinton haters. He didn't do that. He said he was going to repeal and replace Obamacare. He didn't do that. So I'm still trying to figure out why there are so many people who are still on that Trump train when they can clearly see that it's just a bunch of empty rhetoric. It's not based on policy. It's not based on anything authentic. But drop and those who are just, who still want to attack the Democratic Party, there are things you can attack them on. And specifically here in Ohio, we looked at Nina Turner and the issue that she had. I think that was just payback for her for not supporting Hillary Clinton, and she supported Bernie Sanders back in 2016. So her trying to come out now and take a hot seat up in Cleveland, they're like, nah, the DNC is pretty much like, nah, you can't have this seat. You weren't loyal to us when we needed you, so now we're not going to be loyal to you. So that's just my speculation on what happened with Nina Turner. So if you want to look at that and attack Democrats on that, that's fine. But to try to blame Biden for the immigration issues that have been going on for decades, you can't do that. That's not fair. So you're going to be corrected. I'm a football coach, and if I have one player that's making way more mistakes than the other one, and he starts throwing a fit because I'm not yelling at everybody else, that's just something that he's going to have to work on. He's going to have to grow up. So we've had solid exchanges. I respect you, brother. You just got to be a little bit more mature on that because you're going to get corrected more if you're giving more false information than other people. So that's all I got. I'm going to get back to listening to the show. I hope everybody has a blessed weekend, and y'all be safe.
Appreciate the call. That's Senator Ron Lack. He's running for the U.S. Senate in the state of Ohio. You say, I'm going to manifest this, huh? Okay. Manifest, brother, manifest. Well, since he brought up Nina Turner, that was big news this week. Do I still have the cover from earlier? Yeah, A Tale of Two Sisters, Chantel Brown and Nina Turner. One was looked at as more of a centrist. The other was more of a progressive. Chantel, more the centrist Democrat, and Nina Turner, more the progressive Democrat. I'm thousands of miles, I'm hundreds of miles away here in Cincinnati. But from afar, you know, I thought very favorably of Nina Turner. I'm not against anybody. But what happened? Nina Turner said there was some evil money. That was the phrase that she used. She said evil money. Well, here's a very interesting article that I want to share with you. This is from the Electronic Intifada. You heard of them before? Probably not. I want you to check this out for my people out there that like to do this kind of stuff. Check this out. Check out this link and tell me what you think. You might say it's not a credible source. You make your own decision. But here is the headline written by Michael F. Brown. It was written 2 days ago on August the 4th. Israel lobby helps Chantel Brown defeat Nina Turner. Huh? The Israel lobby? Chantel Brown was down by double-digit deficit. She had some big-time names in the Democrat Party that came in, and after that, she surged to defeat the progressive candidate, Nina Turner. Nina Turner said in her concession speech that there was evil money. Is she talking about the pro-Israel lobby? After reading this article, that's what it appears. It appears that the pro-Israel lobby came out big time. We're talking about over $1 million and put that money directly into that race, directly into that primary. Someone named Kirk Beto tweeted on, when is this? On August the 2nd. Who is Kirk Beto? Kirk Beto is a reporter. And he tweeted, let me go back to this. He tweeted back on the 2nd with a nice little chart and everything, just how much money that an organization called the DMFI, it's a PAC, the DMFI. It's an offshoot of a lobby group called the Democratic Majority for Israel. Why was the Democratic Majority for Israel so focused on this congressional race in Ohio? Well, is it because that Nina Turner was much more of a critic of the way that Israel is treating the Palestinians than Chantel Brown is? Kirk Beto reported on Twitter that the DMFI, I know I'm throwing a lot of names out and acronyms out to you, which is a PAC, DMFI PAC. It's an offshoot of a lobby group called the Democratic Majority for Israel. He's reporting that they they put more money into opposing Nina Turner than nearly all of the other spending on everything else they did. So I'm looking at it right here. DMFI PAC endorses Chantel Brown. She posted this this is on Chantel Brown for Congress on her Twitter page. She posted this back on March 1st, 2021. The U.S. and Israel have a solid and unbreakable bond with shared democratic values and common interests. In Congress, I will work to strengthen the U.S.-Israel relationship. Thank you for your endorsement and support. So is that the evil money that she was talking about? It was the pro-Israel lobby. And I can see Israel caring about each and every member of Congress and how they view their relationship with the Palestinians. Is that what it came down to? Could be. Could be. I'll share this with you. Do whatever you want to do with it. I'm not sure if, again, I posted a link for you. You look at the link, you look at their website, you tell me if it's a credible source or not, if it makes any sense. This is what's being reported. So maybe we figured it out. When she says evil money and outside money, Maybe that's what they're talking about. They're talking about that pro-Israel lobby. Matter of fact, they even pay for billboards that were targeting Nina Turner. But that's just the way politics works, though. I mean, you're going to have interest that are going to be interested in the particular views of each and every congressperson. It matters. That's not a small job. And so if you're the country of Israel, you care what each and every congressional member of Congress thinks about the relationship of Israel and Palestine. Again, Nina Turner in her concession speech said, quote, "I am going to work hard to ensure that something like this doesn't happen to another progressive candidate again. We didn't lose this race. Evil money manipulated and maligned this election." So that pro-Israel money came in. They dropped over $1 million just in that race, all to oppose Nina Turner. This all happened in Ohio, all in Cleveland, or near the Cleveland area, or part of the Cleveland area. Hmm. So was Nina Turner expressing anti-Jewish animus? Was she on some, I'm a hold Israel accountable for how they treating Palestine? And then the pro-Israel lobby was like, we got two choices here. One wants to play ball with us. The other wants to hold us accountable. Who you think we should support? Makes sense. Makes sense. We're finding out more and more about that particular race in Ohio. So I'll keep my eyes on it. Sarah writes, makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. I'm not here to say they're wrong for it. I mean, that's the game of politics. You see, too much dark money influences elections. Could be. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Nate. It's Kev on the cell.
What up, Kev?
How are you, my brother? So, I gotta fact check Janita on only one thing. Everything else she said is correct. President Biden has said multiple times that he is not against doing something for student loan relief, but he believes that it should come from the Senate and the House. He said it's not something that he should do based on his presidential powers. It's basically what she had said about voting rights. He said that he needs the backing of the Senate in order to make it happen, because it's not, number one, it's a large amount of money, but it's not something that should be in his purview. So I will disagree with you there, Danita, that it's not something he would ever do. Now, the fact is that the likelihood of getting the Republican portion of the Congress to do anything, much less for, I shouldn't say that, though. They're actually working on the infrastructure bill, and it sounds like it's actually coming to a head. So maybe that's kind of, I was about to make a misstatement, so I'll stop myself there. But I think it is something that's possible. It would just take greater support. I think that we should stay focused. Number one, DJT was a conversation for way too long. So let's not have that conversation again. It's okay. He's gone back. You know what I'm saying? And if he comes back, we can start talking about that. But quite frankly, spinning the wackest hits was going on for 4 or 5 years or whatever. And I was done with that man when he started trying to attack President Obama for where he was born, right? These weak tactics are shameful and drop. This is directed squarely at you. You and your party and those that you represent have absolutely, positively no platform. There is no policy that I hear you spit. There is nothing that you're talking about that has anything to do with our political process in this country. I do want to say something else straight, Nate. I came in when I was 7 years old. I went to Cincinnati public schools, and my parents didn't have much. So all of this talk about me being a new citizen, I appreciate, and the new fervor, which I've always had. That's why I got a master's in public administration. Um, I need to say something straight. I grew up here, and my boys hung out in some of the worst hoods in Cincinnati, for real. And I've seen people who have been seriously oppressed, and some people who I believe have seriously oppressed themselves, to be honest. Not that systemically or systematically they weren't oppressed, but that they indoctrinated that suppression and they made that part of their own reality, and that pushed them down further. So my goal, my thought is always we rather than me, right? And I'm doing okay. But I think, a rising tide lifts all boats, and reaching, and I'm not even gonna make, I was about to make a statement that I'm not even gonna make, because I ain't high enough on the food chain to say I'm pulling anybody up. But I'm willing to share anything I know with everybody I know, to make sure that all of us eat. That's all we all trying to do, man, is eat, Nate. That's it. You know what I mean? And we got folks out here talking about, well, I'm going to eat. You going to starve, but I'm going to be cool with that. And that's just not my life. That's not how I'm built. For those of you that's good for you, man, hey, rock on. I give you all the props in the world, man. Make as much as you can, go as far as you can, but you can't take it with you. And there's plenty of other people that are struggling that could use the help. I think a lot of people have a lack mentality. They think that because I get it, if anybody else get it, that means that I can't get any more, and that's just BS, right? So there's plenty of resources out here. There's plenty of opportunity out here. I got 13 years in banking, man. I have licenses about financial matters and things, man. So I'm not coming on here to blow my own horn. I'm telling you that if I can help you, I'm happy to help. And for all you people out there that are BSing and trying to hold down my people, you better watch your back, because we coming for you, for real. We ain't coming for your wealth. We ain't even coming for your knowledge. We just coming to take care of our business and make sure that we eat. If we don't take care of the people out here that are struggling, Nate, and I'm not going to be long, man. If we don't take care of the people that are struggling, this is a very selfish mantra of mine, right? Because I saw it when I was growing up. The people that are jumping through your window trying to take what you have is because they don't have nothing. And if you don't help them to get something, they're not going to sit around and starve. That ain't life, man. Everybody got to eat. Folks going to feed their family. And they're either going to feed their family by you making sure that they know something and they can do something, or else they're going to come for your stuff. That's what happened in the French Revolution. It'll happen again. It ain't different just because we're in America. Lastly, man, this vaccine stuff has gotten ridiculous. I think that a lot of the positions are becoming childish. I'm arguing with a friend of mine, a conservative friend of mine, on Facebook. I guess we arguing, whatever. We're having banter, and he's a right to life person, right? He's pro-life. You telling me you pro-life, and then you turn around and say, it's not right that we're going to mandate having vaccines. You want to mandate not having abortions? You don't have any problem with that.
Right.
I can't, man. There are plenty of really good, important things that we need to be keeping our eyes on out here, y'all. Don't be blind to the fact there are folks out here that really do have some seriously negative agendas for us. There are plenty of really good, important. Find those 3 people now. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that if your church has buses and things like that, things at their disposal. There are older folks out here who are going to have challenges with transportation. We already know that. If somebody needs to get an ID card, I got 3. I'm going to keep saying that. I got 3, man. An ID card costs $15. The hardest part might be for some older folks finding their paperwork in order to make sure that they get them, that you get them signed up. But there's a way, man. There's a will, there's a way. If you got to go down to the Social Administration building and get somebody a new Social Security card, I mean, they have one. They got a number. Trust me, they do have a number. They're making sure they get their taxes. So they got a Social Security number. birth certificate might be hard to get. The hospital might no longer exist, and all of those kind of things. But there is a way, man. We got to make sure we beat them before they beat us, because they're going to make us struggle. But even when we struggle, we still win. Hey, Nate, that's all I got, man. Be blessed. Stay safe. Love to the family.
Same to you, brother. Kev said, listen. I'm a new citizen, but I ain't a new black man in these Americas, just so you know. And just circling back around, we kicked off the show talking about a Hamilton County judge, a Democrat judge, as I understand, who ordered a man to get the COVID vaccine as a condition of his probation. And is that legal? You can do that? That's an excellent point. How are you going to be pro-abortion and then be against the vaccine? It's like you're going to force people to have an abortion that don't want it, but you can't force people to take a vaccine. It's not consistent. Bunky writes, immigrant babble. He's a citizen now, man. Bunky writes, here we go. You ain't got no chill this week, man. He's calling FBA lazy. Y'all. Drop writes, rack him for checking Danita. Talking about you gonna call that woman Donyetta. It's Danita. You coming to say hi this morning or what you doing? Come say hi. Now, what kid don't want to do that today? Don't do that, son. Say good morning. Watch where you step into. You don't want to knock off my club right there. There you go. Get closer.
Good morning.
To who? To the family? Okay. All right, bro. That's really, I need to keep that. Thank you. Thank you. No, I need that too.
No, you don't need it for
Okay. All right. You can play with it. Taking care of daddy's beard. Okay. Can you get a little off the top, please? Can you give me a little taper back here? Where I do you? Okay, there you go. Cool. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan, it's Pavan Parikh. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, Pavan?
Hey, man, I just wanted to jump in on the Turner Brown conversation for a second.
Okay, cool.
I've known Nina Turner for 10 years. She's a good friend of mine. I used to be her lawyer. I'm a big fan of hers. But I think the real big story here, and I think it needs to be a lesson to all of us in Cincinnati, is in a special election, turnout was only about 16%. And so you are absolutely right about the amount of money that was dropped in against her, and it was a lot. But the bigger concern for that campaign needs to be, and all of our campaigns needs to be, about voter turnout. Because if you look back at our mayoral election 4 years ago, we saw that, you're looking 20, 30% turnout. And I think that when you looked at the primary, you thought Yvette Simpson had a really good shot to win the mayoral election. And then John Cranley came in and was able to take it over. And so I think my lesson to everybody that I will talk to that really cared about how that congressional race turned out or didn't turn out is we got to make sure we get boots on the ground and people to vote. Because if we continue to have such a low turnout, that's what's going to determine the election just as much as the amount of money that's spent in it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You're right about that. Hey, Papa, since I got you on the line, man, I got a question we're dealing with. A Hamilton County judge ordered a man to get a COVID vaccine as a part of his probation. Is that legal?
Okay. Judges have a lot of authority. I'm going to assume that it is. I think that one of the questions that we got to ask when it comes to the vaccine discussion is there's a lot of times that we are told that we have to get vaccines. I mean, in order to enter into a public school, you have to be vaccinated against a variety of diseases. In order to be employed in a hospital, you have to provide proof of vaccination. So my assumption is that it falls within judicial authority, because to grant probation or parole is part of the judicial discretion. So judges have the authority to either do it or not do it, no matter what. But, that's something new. I think we're all learning a lot about what people can and can't do in these last couple of months as far as mandating vaccines. So, like I said, my assumption is that it probably is, but I think there will probably be some case law on that in the near future.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to ask somebody with a legal background. I appreciate you, Pop, and thanks for the call.
All right, sir. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Take it easy. I'll say it again. If Pavin would have won for, what was that, probate court, Hamilton County would be in a better place. We effed that up. We had an opportunity. And we had no idea what was going to happen. Like I said, had he beaten, I believe it was Winkler, right? Then when all that stuff happened with city council and a decision had to be made, he would have made the decision. Now, we had no idea at that time. Let me see if I can find a picture of him. I think I've got an old picture of him if I can put up real quick. Right? And that would have drastically changed the landscape on city council. Elections have consequences. Had we known back then, we had no idea. Hold on, I'm trying to find an image of Pavin. Remember, he went on the Donnie B podcast. He went on the Is It Just Me podcast. They had a great conversation. I thought it was hella interesting just about the intricacies of his culture and dating and things like that. It was hella interesting. I'm not finding it. I only keep so much stuff in my files that I don't need. But if you can just Google Pavin, P-A-V-A-N, Parikh, and you can see who we're talking about there. But I appreciate the call. He says he's going to assume that the judge can do that. Man, they can do that now? Man, I don't like that. You're going to force me to get a vaccine. I don't want a vaccine. That's some ish right there. Let's see what happens next, though. See what happens next. So I'm still working on that image so you know who we're talking about. So this is Pavin right here. That's Pavin. Remember Pavin? Yeah, remember him? Probate judge? He should have. Well, I can't say he should have won, but if it was my preference, he would have won. But it is what it is now. We are where we are. Just remember. Let me see. Nikki writes, "Hi, cutie." He getting beside himself now. He just run the show. He want to put stuff on my head and all. He want to embarrass his dad, but he got it like that, so he can do it. Tabitha writes, "Hey, little one. Good morning. Good morning to you." Let me see. Carmelita writes, "That sounds crazy in the mic when he was shaving me." It's funny how kids imitate their parents. So he's imitating me when I cut his hair. So you know what that means, right? That means he's going to be my barber one day. It's like, "Son, can you just taper me in the back?" "Oh, I got you, Pops." She's going to be taking care of Pops the way Pops took care of him. So Maurice writes, "Fatherhood is so wonderful." Yeah, it is. Ooh, some days, boy, they be trying your patience. But he's a good one. Erica writes, "Love it with the sun." Let me see. Voter turnout is everything. It is. Janice writes, "It needs to be challenged." Lemmy writes, "Good morning." Sarah writes, "That judge doesn't have that jurisdiction." Well, apparently they do. Republicans are hypocrites. Christian Boykin writes, "Yeah, Winkler." That was Winkler. Just think about how that one, we had no idea. Again, I did my part. We did our part here at CDM to let people know about it. But just think about how that one role would have changed the landscape of city council. Now, you might say, "I like it like it is." Great. But Winkler, who is a white male Republican, made the decision about at least two of the people that were going to be appointed after they had to step down. So that was Jeff Pastor and also PG Sittenfield. Just think about that. And we had no idea back when we was having conversations about it. And, he came on the show a couple times and talked about his platform. I had no idea that was something that the probate judge even decided. We had no idea. Had we known what was going to happen, I think people would have came out in droves. Public schools have exemptions to vaccines. A form must be filled each year that there are definitely students in schools who do not have all that vaccines for religious reasons, psychological reasons, medical reasons, or the parents has worked out an alternate vaccine schedule with the pediatrician. That's another part of this issue with the busing. So now what you're going to do at a time in which the Delta variant is at an all-time high, infections are going up in Hamilton County, you're going to be mixing populations. You're going to have the general public on metro buses mixing in with schools, with students. Now you might say, well, they can do this anyway on when they're not in school. You're right about that. But it's a contact sport, right? The less contact you have with people outside of your bubble, the more likely you are to get COVID. Why would we increase the contact time for CPS students to be intermingling with the public, the unvaccinated public, at a time in which the Delta variant is at an all-time high? Just don't make sense. Speaking of which, I'm on Cincinnati.com's website, and somebody named Scott H. Adams, he wrote an opinion piece about this issue. Opinion: CPS transportation director scapegoated over controversial busing plan. Who is Scott H. Adams? Well, Scott H. Adams is the former chief operations officer for CPS. He served during the 2018-2019 school year. That's who Scott H. Adams is. I read through it this morning. He basically is saying that he feels like this man, I think it's a black name, it was named Lauren Johnson. That's the CPS transportation director. Essentially, he's saying that this man is being scapegoated and that the real issue is CPS top leadership. Now, who is CPS top leadership? Well, that had to be the interim superintendent and her team and the school board. That's CPS top leadership, right? Here's what he wrote. CPS's top leadership is unscrupulously throwing an outstanding, honorable professional under the bus, no pun intended. They are showing the poorest of leadership qualities by intentionally attempting to ruin a person's character and livelihood just to pass the buck on the issue they should take full responsibility for. You know, I've criticized CPS for passing the buck and not taking full responsibility as related to the death of Gabriel Taille. Why did they have to spend $500,000? Why did they have to spend the last 4 years? And they knew they was wrong from day one. So I would agree. CPS leadership has a problem with taking responsibility. I agree with that. They do. Why is it true that black students are 5 times more likely to get exclusionary discipline? Why is that? Is that true? So yeah, there's a lot of passing the buck at CPS. We already know it. Is this particular man right about this? Is Scott Adams right about this? I don't know. I feel like I've met him before when I look at his photograph. His face looks familiar to me, but who knows? What do you think about this? Let me post a link and you can check it out for yourself. This is from my friends over at Cincinnati.com. Check them out, the opinion page. Check them out. What do you think? He was like, look, stop trying to throw this man under the bus and take responsibility for what you did. You're the leader. Who's he talking about? Who's he talking about? He writes, I believe I can say this with high confidence, admittedly not knowing all the details or hearing either side of the issue, because I know the process within CPS, sorter, and CPS are in constant communications throughout the year and mostly when preparing for a new school year. Something this big would not have happened without everyone in CPS leadership being aware. So on top of everything else, are we dealing with a lack of taking responsibility from CPS again, like they did with the Gabriel Taille situation? Because CPS leadership blew that. Y'all all blew that. Y'all wasted a lot of time and money. And whatever has been implemented, and I still don't have any confidence in it because here we are going to a school year. And as a parent, I haven't been contacted about anything new as it relates to bullying at all. I have to talk with wifey, but I don't think we have, as a family, received any updates on the bullying process, any new resources, a brand new phone number, nothing. as it relates to the death of Gabriel Taye. They've got this settlement and some stuff they say they're gonna do. They're gonna check back for the next year. But as a parent, I haven't received any notifications about anything. So how real could it really be? Leadership takes responsibility when they mess up. Tell me I'm wrong. Isn't that what you want from a leader? You don't expect the leaders of your organization or your business to be perfect. Nobody expects that. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. When you make a mistake, you make a mistake. When you F up, you F up. And all that people want to see you do is own it. Just own it. Just own it. CPS, among other things, has a just own it problem. They want to pass the buck. It's somebody else's fault. This is not my fault. I didn't do it. I don't know. Negro, get your ish together. Some of this kind of rings true to me. Like they want us to believe that just one man just made all these decisions by himself and nobody knew about this whatsoever. Again, I'm not here to say that it's true or not. I'm just saying as a grown person, that's a little sus to me. That's sus to me. Really, nobody knew? However, anything's possible. I'm not here to say that I know 100% one way or not because I do not. If I had some information, I would share it with you if I was allowed to do so. I don't have any information. See. Let me see. It's worth your time. It's really worth your time to check out that op-ed piece. If you're somebody that's been following that story with CPS, it is worth your time to check it out. He brings up some interesting points. I'm not here to say he's 100% right or 100% wrong. I'm just saying that it's interesting. Hear me out. I'm just hearing that it's interesting. That's it. Quote, it appears CPS leaders sat on the information before bringing the school board up to speed. It also appears the school board was not happy, nor should they have been, and the district leadership decided to make Mr. Johnson a scapegoat to avoid any blame or accountability on themselves. If there is blame to be had, perhaps the biggest share belongs with Sorta for dropping this last-minute bomb on the district. However, you look at this unfortunate situation, the outcome cannot and should not land at Mr. Johnson's feet. That's one whole paragraph. CPS leaders must take responsibility for not immediately notifying the board and calling for an immediate meeting with Sorta to work on a solution. Based on his place in the CPS organizational structure, Mr. Johnson would have been in communication with at least two other superiors within the district about the proposed busing changes. Who are those two superiors? So we can call them and get them on the show and ask them what they knew. And then we can look at them or listen to them and ascertain for ourselves whether we believe them or not. Everybody running on this. I say a lot of people, not everybody, because you can still get some people on the line, but just too many people running away from accountability on this situation on both sides, on Sorta side and CPS side. It's a damn shame. That is not the way you make a move like that at all. Kathy writes, there is no way this could be legal. How do you force someone to take a vaccine that hasn't been FDA approved? What is the guy's recourse if something goes wrong? Good points. Bunky writes, it is not legal to force a vaccine that is not FDA approved. I believe that you're correct in that to my knowledge. But again, I'll leave it to the legal minds. Sarah writes, the decision was already made, in my opinion. The person who received the most votes should have gotten the seat based on the election. Danita writes, not saying I agree, but high school kids can be vaccinated. Kids 12 years and older are eligible. There are probably some younger 7th graders who are still 11, but most are 12 to 18. Lynn writes, in the city of Cincinnati, on 30% of African Americans are vaccinated. This is on us, great people. I think she means only 30% of African Americans are vaccinated. It's funny. That would ring true. I mean, there's some very serious efforts that have been put out there in terms of media to try to educate people about the vaccine. And I applaud those efforts. Again, I'm 100% vaccinated. That's what they're calling 100% vaccinated. Tomorrow they might say only you're 60% vaccinated. You got a third shot you got to get, and then you'll be 100% vaccinated. I told the wifey, I'm not taking no boosters. I've taken all the shots I'm going to take. You know what I'm saying? If if the 2 shots I took don't give me protection, then I'm not going to be protected unless some more information comes my way. But right now, it's right here. Nat writes, the buck stops there at the top. Absolutely. It's always leadership. That's why y'all make the big bucks. That's why y'all got the offices, because you the leaders. And when the shit go wrong, it's on you in most cases. You know what I'm saying? If you've been there when all the shit was starting, then when the smell started to emanate to the community, and the community's like, what's that smell? And they go back to your office, then you're going to have to explain it. Simple as that. I think that makes sense. Milani writes, if you have chosen not to vax your children and there is an outbreak of sorts, the schools will all allow an alternative learning schedule for your children so they are not in line of fire, so to speak. Okay. Danita writes, when I was in CPS, we stopped mailing back to school packets because so many came back in the mail. We sent them home with the kids on the first day. Parents, make sure to check for new information. Is that right? Yeah, God bless them, man. But this is some parents just they're working their ass to the bone. They got a lot of problems, a lot of issues. They're just not on top of it, because we used to send information home with the kids, and then the parents would come in and be like, we never got the flyer. And we'd be like, we put the flyer in the folder and put the folder in the backpack. Mom, Dad, your job is to check the folder flyer on a daily basis. And you'd be amazed at how many parents just don't do it. And I'm not saying anything negative about them, but I just feel like it's parents out there working, caught up with a whole bunch of different stuff, and they're just not on point the way they need to be. So that seems true to my experience and knowledge as well, Danita. You know, in some cases, yeah, they had a folder, and we would put the information in the folder and then put the folder in the kid's backpack. We would make sure, we would do the eye test to make sure it was in there. And then a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, whenever we had an event or whatever the circumstance was that we were giving them information, we would have parents that be like, I never got it. And we'd be like, we sent 3 of them home. I used to do all that stuff, man. The school had a mailer that went out every Wednesday, and maybe twice a month or something like that, or maybe it was once a week. I can't remember. We would include our flyers into that. We would put it over the loudspeaker, and we would send it home after school. And we still had parents that was like, we didn't get it. We would even make calls. It's amazing how many bad numbers we had where we couldn't get in contact with parents, and we got your kid here. That's a god-awful feeling when you got a kid in an after-school program. You're looking at the clock and you got 5-10 minutes into the end of the program. You want to go home. You want to get to your family, and you're calling a number that is not in service, or you get no response from a parent. And you're like, wait a minute, Mom, Dad, why would you leave a kid with me and there's no way for me to get in contact with you? Anything can happen. That's a real bad spot. I almost called 2-for-1 kids on some parents, man. I did not want to do it. I was this close to it. I'm like, I don't want to do this to them people, because you never know what door that opens up. They go back to the home, start doing investigation. They might end up taking your children from you, all because you was late, real late, picking up a kid in the after-school program. I didn't want that on my heart, but maybe that's what the job is. Maybe that's what needed to happen in some cases. I still don't like CPS for that shady deal with FC Cincinnati. Was the deal shady? I don't know if it was shady. I'm not sure if that's the right way. I mean, that's your opinion, Tabitha. I mean, I ain't trying to back you away from it. But there are some question marks, about it. It definitely was. Looking at my clock, it's about that time. I got to make a move. As I said, I've got daddy duties to perform today. Got to make sure my children get to a particular destination and safely. So I got to make sure I'm ready for that. So listen, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. Before we roll out, another word from our sponsor, then we'll come right back.
The words for today are attract more money. It takes 60 seconds for the universe through the invisible law of attraction to be fully activated in your life. God's invisible law of attraction is available to you because you are just 60 seconds away from attracting more money. Take the next 60 seconds and attract more money in your life by telling the financial story for 60 seconds, 3 times a day for 21 days. Why 21 days? Because that's how long it takes to change your life. Now say this financial story out loud 3 times a day. Today, I accept my divine and human right to have more than enough money to be a financial blessing to self, family, and others. I will use my financial abundance today to bless so many people in this universe. Money is my friend. I share my money with my friends. For a free ebook, visit renewcommunitychurch.org.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you. So what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
Back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the by my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my totem is nothing. In the discussion, all them feelings I throw on my pain on percussion. The disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil.